Hello everyone, this is Nintendo Lala Girl coming with you with something new to my channel, for my YouTube channel. Usually on my Twitch I do tier list and I finished this a while back, a few months ago. By now that you're watching this, season 4 has already been posted, but I recorded this before we did season 4. So this is basically a tier list of all the Walking Dead characters from season 1, season 2, season 3, and Michonne. I love The Walking Dead. I appreciate it so much, and the characters make the series. And I just thought this would be a little fun activity we could do before I did season 4. I hope you guys enjoy, and this is technically gonna be part 1 because part 2 I wanted to fully record it after I do season 4, and it should be on YouTube right now, so I'll be working on part 2, but part 1 will be out. And I want to thank you guys so much for the comments you guys left on the videos, for all the people who joined the live streams for this, and everything. It was such a fun experience, and I can't wait to do another game in the future with you guys. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Please comment, please like, subscribe, and if you haven't already, please go to my Twitch and you'll be able to get to see all these cool games I do live. I usually put them on YouTube afterwards as an edited version, but if you do want to enjoy them live with me, talk to me, I will be on Twitch. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and please tell me what you think about certain characters. Do you think they should move up? Do you think they should move down? When I'm doing season 4, I might move around characters from the previous seasons. Just give me a good reason they might need to go down or go up. Anyway, I've been Nintendo Lala Girl. This is my tier list of the Walking Dead characters, and I hope you enjoy. And before the tier list starts, I almost forgot to mention there were going to be some bloody scenes in this, a lot of spoilers to the main entries. So if you guys have not played it and do not want to be spoiled, please do not continue this video. Otherwise, please enjoy.
Welcome. Okay, so we played through season 1, season 2, season 3, and Michonne. And now I'm going to rank the characters before I do my blind playthrough for season 4. So we're going to start with the person who started it all. Legitimately, the horrible driver. I'm going to put him as terrible because he crashed. But then again, he started the whole series. If he didn't crash the way he did, Lee wouldn't have met Clem. Clem would have starved. Clem wouldn't have been the badass we know and love today. So, you know what? We're going to put him as amazing. Amazing, terrible driving skills. You saved the franchise. Let's go. And of course, we have to put Lee at the top. There's no and, if, or but.
Fuck it. I'm going for it.
Going for it? What does that mean?
It means I'm already bitten. I just have to push my way through.
Get ready. Lee's character was written so well. He started off having his own problems. He was a normal guy. Like, he was just a teacher, a professor at UGA, and all of a sudden, boom, he murdered someone. He killed the senator that was sleeping with his wife. And I just love how it feels realistic. He was his own character. Like, when you're playing these games, legitimately, the problem with some of the games nowadays, it doesn't feel like the character does like have their own personality. So I can really appreciate Lee being the way he is right now. So yeah, Lee's of course gonna be up there. We're gonna get to Clem later when we get her to her own season, but yeah. So Chet's next. I'm going to put Chet as hated because he didn't do much for the story. I think he was supposed to establish that things weren't gonna be normal and some people wouldn't survive. Depending on your choice in the beginning of the series, you can have him die or you can have him live. But I didn't really care for Chet. I'm sorry.
I'm Kenny.
Okay, Kenny. Kenny's next. Kenny's harder. Kenny's a little harder for me because I have a really hate-love relationship with Kenny. Like, my first playthrough of the game, I hesitated to smash in Larry's head, which turned out to make Kenny hate me for the rest of the season 1, which made me hate him. But then I replayed and then I actually picked and then he liked me and I was just like, I don't know how to feel because I've seen him at his literal worst and I don't know how to feel. But he is such a well-written character. He's perfect, honestly. He's exactly how a man who loves his wife and kid and girlfriend, if they were ever lost, how would you react? He reacted exactly how you would expect someone to react. So he's going to go into the amazing category. He wasn't my personal favorite, but he deserves to be up there. Katja, personally, I have no feelings for Katja. I think I only feel rage when she committed suicide and left Kenny alone to deal with Duck when he got bitten. So I honestly, I don't know. I just personally don't have any good feelings about Katja. So she's in the bad section. I wouldn't say she's terrible. She was pretty pleasant up to that point, so she's bad. Duck. I don't know where to put Duck. Because it was funny, the little Dick Grayson joke and the snazzy, jazzy music through detective work with him. But otherwise he didn't do much. He was constantly a liability, but he was a kid. So I'm not really going to put that against him. So I'm probably going to just put him as... I'm going to put him as bad, but he's way better than his mom. Way better to me.
Man, shut up, bro! Christ! Oh, shit!
So, yeah, that's Lily. I love Lily. She's going up here. I actually genuinely think Lily is a very interesting character. To the point where she lost her dad and went insane. She mentally couldn't take it anymore. And I just find that so interesting. And I gotta admit, having Lily like me was amazing. yes, she did some horrible things. We'll get to that when we get to that character, but for now, she's beside Kenny. She is amazing. She's amazingly written. Larry, oh my god, no. Hate it. Yes, I know he was supposed to be the antagonist of season 1. And I tried everything. I fed the man. I gave him my axe. I tried so hard to sit down and be like, I get it. He's trying to protect his daughter, and that's commendable. But otherwise he was sucked. He actually genuinely sucked, and I'm so glad he's not with us anymore. Sean. Where would I put Sean? I think I'm gonna put Sean right beside his best buddy, Chet, because I have no feelings. He was just not built for this world. You can tell when someone's built for the world and has potential, or they just aren't and they have no potential. And I'm sorry, I just don't personally care for Sean. His dad, Herschel, was pretty good, and I heard he's actually from official material. So I'll give him an average. Actually, I might change his position later on, but for now, average.
Nice.
And now we're next is Carly. You guys already know how much I love Carly. I loved Carly to death. I liked how she questioned us and how she knew our past. She was just so blunt with it. You're a convicted killer, aren't you? And she's like, you're Lee Everett. Your parents own this store. It's just like, oh, so cool. She was so cool, and she can shoot. Yes, she had the little dumb moment with the batteries, but honestly, that just made me love her even more. She was pretty charming. So she's going to really up beside her man. She's couple goals, literally. They didn't force their romance down your throat. It was perfect.
Don't call me small.
Doug, I don't know what to do with Doug. I kind of feel bad, because genuinely Doug isn't even a bad character. It's just I prefer Carly 10 times more. He's useful. Don't get me wrong. He's very useful, but he's not Carly useful. So he's going to probably go in good. I think he's good. Actually, no. Let's put him in average. I feel like average is really good for him. Glenn, I know Glenn was a part of, I think, the show or the comics as well. He's going in average, but personally, if it were up to me, if I probably watched the show, I'd probably put him lower. I just don't have a strong opinion of Glenn. He's fine. Not really exactly my favorite, but not the worst. Oh, the girl who shot her. Okay, I'm gonna put her higher than these three, because she actually potentially showed us how horrible the situation was getting. She lost her boyfriend. She believed in God. She didn't want to become one of the satanic things, she said, and she suffered through it. So I'm putting her up higher because she actually showed us insight on how the world was changing around us. People who tried to fight to stay alive no longer are trying to fight to stay alive. Super duper interesting to me. Mark is hated. I don't like him. Everything he ever did was complain and gossip around people. He he was just so annoying. He felt like a child, and I just had to deal with it. And I was just like, no. So he's going to hated section. If I could put him lower, I would. Ben. Okay, so Ben's an interesting case for me because I'm sad because Ben's the reason, two characters are the reason my favorite character got killed. But I wouldn't say that affected his position. That beautiful speech that he talks to about Kenny, that he didn't know about what was happening with his family. Like, we never considered his situation. We always just like, oh, he's just this random kid we found from the, like, woods and couldn't save his teacher and all that stuff. And yeah, I think he's actually a really good character because that's one speech. That speech saved his entire character because it gave you perspective that you never ever had before, and I gotta admit, I appreciate that so much. His friend, I didn't care about. He was annoying. My dad is special forces. Like, no. Hated section. Nope. The teacher, I wouldn't say hated. I wouldn't even say terrible. Maybe just bad. He was a prime suspect. Like, if you literally do the option with the bidden option, he basically gives you perspective of you don't have to be bidden to become a walker in that series, which Ben actually enlightened, but it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for one of these two, depending on your decisions. I'm going to put hated for him and terrible for his brother. Actually, yeah, no, that's good. That's accurate because he's a little better than his brother. He has more dialogue options that make you, like, aren't suspicious right away. These were the Cannibal Brothers, and I gotta say, they creep me out. They creep me out to this day, and I'm so glad they are no longer with us. Jolene. Jolene is up here with the good. She is such an interesting character. She lost her daughter, and she got basically abused by, basically sexually abused by the two brothers, and she basically lost everything. And I gotta say, the way she became crazy, but she wasn't even the craziest person I've seen in this. She's so interesting, and the fact that she gives us a lead about how crazy the St. John brothers are made me instantly just want more, and I'm just,
And if something were to happen to you,
It won't.
if it were, you gotta prepare the girl. Teach her to use a weapon, and for crime, and he cut that hair.
Like a gun. Are you kidding me?
What, she's too young to handle one? There ain't too young. Not anymore. You gotta consider her a living person. That's it. You're either living or you're not. You ain't little, you ain't a girl, you ain't a boy. You ain't strong or smart. You're alive.
okay, so the next person is Chuck. Chuck is going in amazing. He's going higher than Lily, and actually, no, wait. There we go. Chuck was amazing because he's the first person to tell Lee that we were coddling Clementine. And we were. Well, let's be realistic. We were. Because the options for Lee, he was basically like, she's just a little girl. And he's like, she's gonna die a little girl if you don't get your stuff together. Basically is what he said. And I thought that was super interesting. Next person is Krista. I have a love-hate relationship with Krista too. She's smart. She thinks ahead. But when she lost Omid in season 2 and her baby, she was as broken as Kenny was when he lost his wife and kids. And that just makes you way more irrational and all that stuff. Because you lost the one thing that made you feel like you could go on. And I think I'm going to put her in good because I just didn't have the best relationship with her.
Here, the weak portion of the coupling's out of my reach.
You think it'll be within mine?
No, but I'm gonna dangle you over that ledge.
The hell you are? God, you're a real son of a bitch, aren't you?
Shut up and start cutting.
But I'm putting her man in like favorite because he was the best comic relief character ever. He wasn't annoying to me. He was funny. There was real world insightful like stuff from him. He was perfect. He was perfect. He was more Lee's best friend to me than Kenny was. So yeah. Molly. I think Molly is good. I think I don't know if I should put her amazing. Because her sister story is really sad and you can empathize with her. But she only showed up for one episode and stayed for one episode. So I might genuinely just put her here. I might move her later. Her doctor's trash. Forget the doctor who slept with her and told her after sleeping with her and was like, yeah, you're not getting no more meds. I'm like, I would have fought him. I would have been like, you're dead. You're dead. The person who was also pregnant, I feel she also brought insight into the story. I think she deserves, well, she did stab the doctor. Ooh, she did stab the doctor. I think she had a harder... Wow, Duck does not want to move. Duck does not want to move. Okay. There we go. I think she was a great, insightful character. She only showed up for a few minutes, but she had such a big impact. Not only Krista, but me as well. So... yeah, no, she gets to be there, even though she's mostly a side character. Vernon's fine. I don't personally hate him, but I don't personally like him. He's an average. He's an average Joe Schmo. I don't remember her name again. I think it was Joyce. She showed up in season 1, episode 4, but didn't show up till like the 400 Days DLC, and she was super violent and she wanted to kill this random guy who broke into her new group's camp. And yeah, she was super violent. I don't really feel anything for her. I wouldn't say I hate her, but she's terrible, so yeah. I think his name was Boyd. I could be totally wrong about this. He was sweet. I liked him. He was calm, collected. He admitted that Vernon made a big mistake. I feel like he deserves to be like average, but on top of all of these, especially on top of Vernon, because Vernon sucks for taking that boat. Bree's fine. I didn't care about her. Hated, actually.
Joyce, that was a long time ago. If we kill this man, then we're giving up a part of ourselves that we can never get back. I'm not ready to let that go.
Shell? Okay. Here's the thing you guys need to know about Shell. When I was looking at the 400 Days, I always thought that... I don't know. I always thought that 400 Days, each one could have been its own season. and it didn't have to just be short stories. But out of all of them, I felt like Shell had the best story potential to be season. I honestly thought she was gonna be season 3's protagonist. That's how good I loved her story. She had a little sister and she was coddling the sister, and that affected a lot of the choices she made, and it was interesting to me. So I'm going to put Shell
What the hell?
in the amazing section, because if this woman don't have the potential to become a main character, I don't know what will.
I hurt her so bad. My son Adam went missing. I took him out hunting even though my wife said he was too young. I figured he had to learn. I came back without him, and the look on her face said, "You are a monster." We all went out looking for him. We never found him. I hurt her so bad.
Okay, the stranger. The stranger is basically Walking Dead season 1's bad guy. And I gotta tell you, he creeped me out a lot, but he is someone I definitely see like you could just have coffee with and talk about certain situations. He really did feel like he was trying to help Clem, but he was just too far gone. That's why I'm gonna put him in the average, because out of all the Walking Dead villain characters, he's probably the worst one to me. I don't think he's big and impactful and bim bam kind of way. No, not at all. This is the guy who was with Russell. He's terrible. Do I hate him though? Do I hate him? He did try to kill a couple, but the couple was racist. But the couple didn't need to die. You know what? I'm putting you in hated. Get out of here. Russell, I hate Russell too. I'm not a big fan of Russell. There's nothing for me to love his character. I think the only thing I liked about his campaign is we got to see Carly again, technically. So I was okay with that. Otherwise, that Russell, whatever. Wyatt's so interesting. He's under amazing. He was trying to protect his brother and ended up killing someone to do so. And I think that is so interesting. Oh my goodness, you have no idea how much I really wanted him to get his own season as well. I feel like he was my second contender for his own season. Shell's little sister, I didn't like her. I think she was annoying, pretty whiny too, and she didn't take anything seriously. You can also blame that on Shell for always overprotecting her, but she was not coddled, in my opinion. She needed to grow up on her own terms. Shell's best friend, Stephanie, she left us to die. But I wouldn't say I hated her. I think she was actually pretty decent. I think we'll just put her in bad. This guy sucks. He betrays us depending on which ending you pick in season 2. He sucks. You could tell he's really abusive to his fake wife, whatever it was, whatever relationship it was. But yeah, you can tell he was fake. This guy was the prison guard on the bus. I'm gonna put him as hated because he killed He basically killed an innocent guy, got himself killed, and he could have saved so many lives, but he was incompetent and stupid. I'm gonna put also these guys in hated because they got in a fight and it was just annoying. Okay, so Danny. I don't know how to feel about Danny because Danny was potentially arrested for being a rapist. And it was apparently a little girl. And I don't know if he was actually did that, but I don't know. It's super hard because I liked him. I loved him, actually. I don't think he's my favorite. I don't think he's amazing, but I think he would be good. But he did a terrible thing, so I don't know. So terrible. He's going under terrible because I can't risk protecting someone who sucked, and this guy sucked. He stole so much money from so much people and didn't regret a single thing. Justin sucked. This guy, Leland, I think was his name. He sucked too. He was cheating on his wife. And as soon as his wife dies, suddenly he cares. Like, no. His wife sucked too. She was a thief and called me a junkie. So, no. Wyatt's fine. I just wasn't a personal huge fan of him. I wouldn't say I hated him, but he was terrible to me. What was her name again? Tavia? I think it's Tavia. I loved her. She was amazing. And I feel like she had more potential to be something else. But she was held back being a side character, so she's getting into average. And we can't forget Maybelle, the cow. Maybelle, the cow, had no potential whatsoever, but she wasn't terrible. She's an average cow. She brought the best joke in the series, so she gets to be an average. I might put her in favorite, let's be real, or amazing. I'll come back to the cow. Okay, so now this is basically season 1's. So now we are at season 2 characters, and I gotta say, this is
My parents. It's so horrible.
I can't imagine, Sweet Pea.
And now, you? Please. Please don't be one of them. Please don't become a walker.
There's only one thing you can do. You know that.
I don't know if I can.
You have to shoot me, honey.
This is gonna suck.
it's time for Clem's character to come into play. Of course, Clem is going to be under favorite. We basically raised the girl, we played as the girl, we saw her grow into this cool badass, and I can't wait to see where her story continues in season 4. And I will get to Michonne when we get to her, list of characters. But anyway, this is the guy who shot Krista. He's going in the hated section. This is the person who shot Omid. She's going in the hated section. This is Sam. He's a precious good boy. And the only reason I'm not putting him in my favorite is because of the way they killed him off. Glob, the way they killed him off made me feel so many bad things. And I felt like crying. Every time I get to his scene, it's worse than the scene where Clementine's sewing back her hand. It's it's worse than that scene. And whoever leaves the dog, whoever does pick that decision, you're a terrible person. And how dare you? I love Sam. He deserved better. I loved him so much. He's going under terrible too. I think I already did his, actually no. Yeah, I did his fake dad already, which I wasn't supposed to do because he's technically in season 2, whatever. He's going terrible as well. Don't like him. Anyway, Pete. Oh, Pete. Oh, wait. I forgot. I forgot this guy. He was Roman? Roman, I think was his name. He's going under the bad section. There we go. Now we're getting to Pete. Pete's going up here. He was an amazing character. And if he potentially stayed longer, he would probably be one of my favorites. But sadly, since the way they killed him off and how they killed him off and left me with 10 times worse characters, he's going to be in the amazing section. I think he's potentially better than oh my goodness, I just said his name. It's not Wyatt. I'll get back to it. I'm gonna remember his name at the worst time.
I don't like this.
Yeah, well, when's the last time you liked anything, Carlos?
Luke. It's going under favorite. I think he was a really interesting, good character. He made mistakes like any human would, but he wasn't as bad as Nick. Nick made so many mistakes that it was too much. I think Luke was fun. He was like that older brother type that you've always wanted, and it was just, and he was good in a fight, and I can see why Jane was falling for him. He's incredible, and I honestly wish he didn't die the way he did. He was done so dirty with his death. I think it was even dirtier than Pete's death. Honestly, Luke deserved better. Carlos is going in the hated section because he messed up Sarah so badly. And I will get to Carlos in a minute because we are going to do Sarah next. I know Rebecca's next, but that's a whole can of worms. Sarah is going under amazing to me. And a lot of people won't agree with this decision. I was so close to putting her in my favorite section, but I had to put her a step lower. And here's why. Sarah, you can tell, was coddled from day one. Was just coddled to all heck. But when I was teaching her how to shoot, when I was talking to her, I didn't see a character I was annoyed by, like what people thought I was going to be annoyed by him or annoyed by him. I wasn't annoyed. I was intrigued. I was like, we can make her a badass. She can show up in almost every season. We could be her Lee. It was incredible, the potential she had. And then game just drops it. It's one of those characters where you can tell they wanted you to kill her off, but when you didn't kill her off, there's certain aspects of her, you think she's going to make it. And when she overcomes it, you think it's going to be fine. You either slap her up or you leave her. And if you slap her, you're like, maybe, just maybe, she will be the biggest badass in the future. But then they killed her, and it was just like, I felt betrayed. And it's all because of his stupid dad's fault. It goes back to, I feel like Carlos needed a Chuck. Carlos needed a Chuck so badly, telling him he was wrong. And yes, you get the option to tell him he's wrong with Clementine's character, but she's a child. No one's gonna listen to a kid like that, especially in this world. So yeah, no, potentially he was a doctor, and you think a doctor position would get him higher on this list, but no. In fact, if he was a doctor, he should have known how much he was messing up Sarah, to the point where everyone had to like talk dumb and dumb down their words around her. And I didn't treat her like that, because I saw what she could have become. And I remember having dreams of like her potentially being in season 3 helping to take care of the baby. I was so happy. And then I woke up and I was just like, this sucks. So yeah, Sarah's gonna be here. People are gonna be mad about that, but I don't care. That's where she is to me. So we're getting to Rebecca. Rebecca is in the average section. My problem with Rebecca is in episode 1, I think she was supposed to become the antagonist character, what Larry was for Lee. But they suddenly were like, oh yeah, she's pregnant, we gotta make her kind of nice and redeemable. And then suddenly she's just like, oh, I'm so sorry, it's because I'm pregnant and I had so much problems and you have to forgive me because I'm pregnant. I was like, no, I kind of don't. I'm like, I kind of happy you're talking to me like I'm a nice person now, but it's really too late. I wouldn't say she's a bad character, because she brings interesting stuff to the table. Like, her relationship with Alvin and Carver is so interesting. You have no idea. The only reason why I didn't put her lower is because of her, like, what she brings to the table. And the only reason I didn't put her higher is because if she was nice from the get-go, she probably would have been, like, up here in the amazing section. I'm sorry. But her husband is getting higher. This man is a certified badass and he deserved better. I think he was written really good. And it's another case where I think they expected you not to save him. But I did. Because I'm just like, he's kind, sensible. He treats his like wife like a queen. And even after finding out that she cheated, he's still worried about her and loves her to death. And I think more people like this should exist. And I'm so sorry he had to die the way he did. I'm sorry. Anyway, Nick, I'm going to put as... Nick's hard. I don't know. Because did I hate him? Actually, yeah, no. Sorry, Nick. You're beside the doctor. Because you became a danger to the group. Nick's season 2's Ben. But here's the thing. The difference is his character feels flat compared to Ben. Because Ben has a little sister, mother, father, lost his friend, lost his teacher, lost a bunch of his fellow students. And no one talks about how much this guy went through. And let's be realistic. Ben was younger than Nick. Let's be realistic. And he still handled it way better. Yes, he was a potential mess up and he would do terrible things, but he wasn't Nick bad. Nick was actually actively shooting people who did not deserve to die. So for that reason alone, Nick is in the hated section. And yes, they tried to redeem him with his relationship with Pete and his mother, but it's not enough to save his character. He killed too much for it to be like that. Next person is Bonnie, and I gotta say, I went back, picked different answers, and I got both sides of Bonnie. And she's from the DLC too. I think Bonnie is a good character. I don't think she's amazing, and I don't think she's perfect or my favorite, but I think she's genuinely a good character. I do like her more than Krista. I will admit that. But Bonnie's fine. I feel like she's fine. She's not average, though. She's better than anyone in the average list. But, yeah, no. Gotta give credit where credit is due. Next character is Jane. When I first played Season 2, I was, like, very fairly new to, like, Telltale, and the only other thing I did with Telltale was the Batman series, but that was like after Season 2, so I was fairly new. This was my second experience with a Telltale game, and seeing Jane, how badass she is, I was like, she's Molly 2.0, but she's staying longer, and I'm like, I love her so much, and I chose to go with her and shot Kenny. And then when I found out she basically endangered AJ, I was like, in my original, like, playthrough, not the one I just did, but the original playthrough, I was, like, flabbergasted, but I was like, I'm gonna give you one more chance. I'm gonna give you one more chance, Jane. You are going to make it up to me in Season 3. And then she kills herself, leaving Clem with a baby, and Clem isn't even like 20 years old, barely have any formula for the baby, probably too, and probably no food. You left because you became pregnant with Luke's baby, which made me even more mad because I love Luke, and the fact that I knew Luke would take care of his baby but wasn't there, it just anger. I only feel anger towards Jane. So younger me would have put her on my favorite list, but older me is like hated. She done goofed up. I gave her too much chances for no. Okay, next is Mike. Just one sec. I'm gonna take a little drink of water. Well, not water. Sprite. Oh, okay. Ooh. Just one sec. Mike. I loved Mike. I genuinely did. I saw him the potential of me traveling alone and with him and Bonnie, and I thought it could work. So when they were gonna betray Kenny and Jane, I was just like, take me with you. They are messed up. I was like, Jane's crazy about leaving the kid to die, and I don't want to see a baby dead. And Kenny's getting aggressive, very aggressive, to the point where he's beating on the kid. I'm like, take me with you. And then stupid freaking Arvo shot me, and I was just like, no. So Mike, depending on which ending you get with Mike, because there's an ending with Mike where he leaves without checking on you, and there's a ending on Mike where he checks to see if you're okay. I always got the one where he's always checking to see if I'm okay, so I love him way more. I think he's sassy and he's funny, and the only reason he's not higher is because he chose Arvo over me. Arvo, I feel bad for. He lost his sister. He probably thought Clem shot his sister without, I don't know, without knowing she became a walker. So he potentially sees us as just a murderer, a senseless murderer. So he held resentment, rightfully so, in my opinion. But, you know, it's honestly all up to how you interpret the character. I think he was genuinely good. He brought a lot of drama's sake, and it was believable. Glob, if I didn't know my sister turned into a walker and I saw someone shoot her, I would hate them too. I would shoot them too. I'm gonna be honest. Arvo was in the right. And okay, in my original playthrough, I took the meds from him. I will admit, I was a terrible person. No morality there. So, him shooting me made even more sense. I was not mad at him. I was worried about Clem. I was scared for Clem. But he also gave me a Lee moment. A Lee delusional moment. And I don't get those moments in season 3. So I will thank Arvo for one thing. Carver. Oh, yes. Carver was amazing. He was an amazing character. I think I'm going to put him over Shell, though. Yes. He was an amazing antagonist. I actually believed in some of his ideals. When he killed Reggie, I didn't feel a thing. That's the worst part. And I was just like, oh, shoot. I am him, almost. I'm like, ooh. So I was like, at one point, I was like, I am willing to work for this man for a better tomorrow. And I'm just like, yeah, no, like, I think everyone thinks I would have put him in hated or terrible or bad. But no, he was an amazing written character, and his affair with Rebecca made it so much more interesting too. And I just wish we got more than one episode with him. Yes, we did. We technically did get more than one episode with him, but it's not what I wanted. I feel like he had the potential to be in all the episodes. That's how good he was. Oh, yes. Troy's hated. I don't care about him. When he got shot in the penis, I didn't feel anything. So forget him, honestly. Matthew. Oh. Matthew's average. I feel bad for him, but it's only because of Walter. Personally, I don't feel much for Walter either. I don't think he's a terrible character. He's just pretty average to me. Yes, he was a great character talking about certain outcomes and everything, but I could just tell he was too nice for this world and he suffered for it. Sarita, yes, Sarita, loved her. She was actually one of my favorites. I think she was done very dirty in this game, and I feel like every time she said something, I was listening to her all of the moments, and I was just like, please, forever, you will forever be in my heart, Sarita. Never change, and thank you so much for taking care of Kenny for as long as you did. Okay, Arvo's sister, didn't really feel anything, but I didn't hate her, so she's going in terrible. Reggie, I also didn't really feel anything, but I didn't hate him, so terrible. Edith, I think Edith was her name. she had a soft spot for kids. I think she was a good character, but she was kind of dropped. I feel like not a lot of people talk about her, but the fact that she was willing to bend rules probably was going to get in trouble. She's literally just a guard. And she's like, I'll talk to them. I'll risk my position to get these 2 kids in. And she even provides weapons and yes. And the fact that she has a hard job, if anyone reaches Wellington and she has to turn them away, do you know how hard that is? Being like, oh, we have the solution to take care of you, but we cannot help you. That must be a terrible position to be in. And I wish people gave her more credit than she did. I think I'm going to put her a little higher. I feel like she's right here. A solid good place for a solid good character. Now, it looks like we are at Michonne's.
Maybe we'll find something down there.
We'll have to go through the cafe to get to the stairs.
You're just looking for Mr. Honeybars.
Always.
Michonne season. And this is the first time I genuinely played Michonne. I'm very, very happy. The reason I didn't play Michonne was legitimately because I heard she was a character in the canon Walking Dead universe. So I was just like, oh, there's no point in me playing her game. I was so dead wrong. I'm so glad I played it because like it is so well written, beautifully animated, and she's a badass. She is going up here because she is awesome. There's nothing much I can say about her character that hasn't already been said. So she gets to be up there for a long time. And Norma gets to go on here. Because Norma was one of the best antagonists. Wait, where did I put Carver? Wait, genuinely, where did I put Carver again? Watch me try to look for Carver again. I thought I put Carver up here. Did I not put Carver? Okay, yeah, I did. Norma is going right beside Carver. She was an amazing villain and antagonist. She was reasonable. Because, like, Sam stole from her so many times, but she kept giving Sam so many chances. She cared about her people. She cared about her brother. She cared about so many things. She even gave us a fair deal. And I genuinely wish, maybe in a new timeline, maybe in a different world, we could have been friends. And I wish we got to be friends. Her brother sucked. Hated him. Get out of here. Pete was so sweet and amazing. I think he deserves to be here. I love how I said he was amazing and I put him in good. I feel like his character technically falls just a little flat because we never got to find his friends. And his friends could be dead, but we just never got the confirmation that we deserve. Oak is okay, but he's so willing to drop a character and have them get killed that I can't care about his character. The rest are average because I just legitimately didn't get to know much of them. Here we go, Sam's father. I think Sam's father falls into the Carver situation where he is too coddling for his kids. But he's not as bad as Carver. I feel like he would have been open to teaching them more. But then again, he lied about his... Then again, he was so Carlos. Yeah, no, he's sticking there, Carlos. Paige. I liked Paige quite a lot, actually. I think she was interesting. I think her funny moments were actually genuinely funny. The fact that she can't shoot and we kind of make fun of it, like it's a battery situation, is just amazing. I feel like she should have been, I don't know. I feel like she should have been like more of a character. She was so interesting. I loved her. Sam. Gotta admit, I did not like Sam. I think she was a whiny little brat who was just a thief, and she always backed it up with, it was because for my family. I'm like, Norma runs a whole community. You think she's behind kills, and you still steal from her. You are an idiot. I didn't like her brothers either. Well, her brother. I didn't like her brother. I think her brother that is basically the brother who was coddled, I think he was a good character. I think he was adorable and precious, but he wasn't annoying. His brother is going to an average. I think that's fair. Oh, shoot. I forgot his name. Is it Jackson? I think one of them is Jackson. They're lovers. They're cute, I will admit. I think he was potentially good. And his lovers, I think he was kind of just there. I don't want to say he was a bad character, but he had no character. So let's just put bad. And it looks like we are finally here at season 3 characters. Or did I make a mistake? I think this guy was the cop in season 1. And he wasn't prepared, so let's just put, not him I hated, but terrible. Okay, I think this is right. Yeah, okay, I think we are literally nearing the end of it. Okay. We're gonna start with Javier.
Maybe. Garcia. Javier Garcia. For what it's worth, I think you got screwed on the gambling thing. A lifetime ban. Shit. Should have had a 20-year career.
He had a professional career. He did gambling. He lost. He got fired because he gambled, and basically he needs money from his family. And I love his character just genuinely because he's not perfect. Perfect is so boring to me. Imperfection is key. Imperfection is beautiful, from what one character said in She-Ra. I agree with, because like, I don't know, it just makes him super interesting, and I wanted him to have a happy future, and because of my decisions, he didn't have a happy future. Like, if I was actually better at my decision making, he could have had the whole Kate Gabe happy ending with David probably coming back and stuff like that. But no, I messed up so many things. So yeah, he never got to be happy in the end. You already know where I'm putting Javi. Javi is one of my favorites. You already know where I'm putting Joan too. She's going up here with the good villains. I love how like everyone but season 1's villain got into amazing. Joan was so confident on what she was doing. The way she drank her alcohol, the way she baked her cake, and she knew she controlled everyone. And she was like confident, and she was just like, oh, I got this. Don't worry about it. And I gotta say, if she was in the story longer, I think she'd be one of my favorite characters. I love Joan so much, to the point where I love her more than Carver, and I think I love her more than Norma. I wish we knew what happened to her, because they say, oh, we don't know what happens to her. Maybe she'll show up in season 4. I don't know. Hopefully. I want some closure on Joan, but there is an option where you can shoot her. And I have done, gone back and do replays of season 3, and I've shot her, but feel no satisfaction to it whatsoever. I just don't. Anyway, Clint. I don't feel anything for Clint. Didn't hate him. Actually, no, I hated him. He was annoying. If you say you liked his spinach, what if you actually genuinely liked spinach more than cake? He calls you a bona fide liar, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, right? And trying to convince this man that, Joan was evil was just stupid. Because, you shouldn't be having to tell this man that she was evil, because she was full on. If she had a pet cat and was drinking her alcohol, she would be sitting behind she would be like Cinderella's stepmother in the shadows. That's how much it was plain obvious Joan was evil, but Clint didn't do anything about it. And then he died before he could. So, yeah, no, don't like his character at all. This is one of Javi's characters. I don't feel anything for him, so terrible. Oh my goodness. Javi's dad, to me, is a good character. I feel like his conversations was so amazing. He gave up when he found out he had cancer. But the way you could tell he loved his sons, loved his wife, he was doing a terrible decision and a terrible thing to them by not telling them and them finding out. But the way he talked to them was so soothing, so just incredibly great, that I wish he didn't die right in the beginning, because I feel like it could have just, he could have been one of the best characters. I don't particularly feel anything for his mom. Sorry about that. David. Oh my god, David is a can of worms. I think he's super interesting. I think he brings a lot to the table. But every time you agree with him, he will bash you down. And here's the thing. I know how it feels to be the person who messes up. And I've had people who constantly bring that up. So I get exactly how Javi feel. You don't understand how much you're hurting us. And the fact that, when people try to change and you keep constantly trying to bash them for their past mistakes, but you never admit your own past mistakes, is just the reason I'm putting you. I feel like you're a good character, but you're not an amazing character. If you actually admitted to, how the fact that you didn't want to stay for your kids, you didn't want to stay with Kate because it got hard. Every relationship is hard, David, and I don't understand. My problem is David wanted to try to make things work when things weren't a disaster. And Kate tried to leave, but she wasn't leaving. So she's going in my hated list. I hate Kate so much. So much. You have no idea. I want Kate gone. And when she turned into a walker, the only reason I felt sad was because Javi was crying on the floor. And Gabe was like, oh no. And everyone was like, oh no. I was just like, oh, I kind of feel bad because I made them feel bad, not because I liked her. In fact, every time she got injured, hurt, or she was close to death, I was just like, okay, we're this close to getting rid of her. I don't want to be that person, but we're so close. And then she would always survive every ordeal. And I was just like, no. And here's the thing. I hate cheaters. I hate cheaters. And she cheated. She cheated so hard on her husband. And it was okay beforehand, because like beforehand, she didn't know if David was coming back in her life. She didn't know if he was alive. So I was like, I gave her a little leeway. I was just like, it's okay, right? But then when she first started talking about leaving Gabe on the side of the road, that's when the problem started for me. I was just like, no. First of all, even if you hate him, you're not leaving him in the side of the road. If he tries to kill someone, we're leaving him so faster than we left Lily on the side of the road. So, yeah. Then Kate's husband comes back in the picture, and she's still trying to constantly flirt. And I'm like, first of all, that's our brother, and I'm not doing that now that he's alive. I'm not doing that to him, right? Before, I get it, because we thought he was dead. We thought he wasn't coming back, and we thought it was over. But now that he's back, I don't want you flirting with me. And it's worse because you could tell Javi loved her to death, but when it's a character's choice, you gotta be like, no, Javi, conceal, don't feel. Wait, don't let it show. Make one wrong move and everyone will know. Basically how I felt about stupid Kate. I'm sorry, Kate. I really am. I feel like in another life I like you, but I hate you so much. I hate you so much. Gabe, I feel, is a terrible character. I like him more than Kate, but I don't like him more than David. I think he's a terrible character. He's on the list for terrible Walking Dead kids. I think he was coddled too much. David brought it up. But the only reason I was like, oh, I didn't agree for David, because I raised him. I raised 2 kids and Kate. You gotta give me credit for that. Basically took care of everything you were supposed to take care of. Anyway, I don't like Gabe. He's whiny. He's annoying. But here's the weird part. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I never hated him. I still saw him as a kid I needed to take care of, and I was just like, okay, right? I don't like you, and you don't like me. I don't really mind. I'll take care of you. That's how I felt about him. He was still a kid, and I might as well take care of him. And Eleanor. Eleanor is the type of character that has potential, but then use it to her fullest ability. When she traded us for Joan, I got it. I wish there was an option where I agreed, oh, she might be right. Maybe we should listen to Joan. I wish I could have been Eleanor in that situation, because I genuinely rather join Joan. So I'm not mad at her for betraying us, but acting like it's not her fault that Tripp gets killed or Ava gets killed is just horrible. Horrible piece of writing. I don't know if it was the creator smoking something or whatever, but like, I legitimately didn't like that. Anyway, Next character should be Conrad. Why do I say Conrad? Ugh. Conrad. I love Conrad. He's the type of character that was also like, oh, people are going to choose for him to die super quick, so we're not going to use him. But every time they tried to kill this man like more than 3 times, basically. If you decide to shoot him, he's dead. If you decide not to give him the gun, he's dead. If you decide not to do a quick time event properly, he's dead. And I'm like, okay, we get it. You want this character dead because you don't know what to do with him afterwards. But honestly, I think he was written so well. I loved him. I loved him more than Eleanor. I loved him more than David. I loved him more than Puppy. I'm putting Puppy higher than some of these guys. I think he's going to be the highest good tier ever. And Javi's dad's beside him. As I feel like these 2 characters I just loved. And they were just lost potential. And that's the only reason they're not in Amazing right now. And we got to Jesus. My glob loved Jesus so much. He's under my favorites. He was written nice, compassionate. He was a badass. The armor though. And he was a really amazing flirt. He's going beside the person he flirted with. Let's go. Mariana is also going into my favorite section because I think she was written so perfectly. Her voice options, she was so funny, thoughtful. She was literally a dreamer. And the way they killed her off was so terrible. It was so terrible. You have no idea. I cried the first time because I was just like, you left me alone with 2 characters I don't love. Why would you do this to me? And I was just like, no. But I love her. I legitimately love her so much. You have no idea. Sometimes when I was playing as Javi, I was like, what? Maybe I want to switch to her. She was so funny and amazing. And I'm so glad. Even if it was short, she was a character. I am so glad. Francine. I think Francine was also a funny, nice character. I think she should have been used a little more. But I'm going to put her in average. If she wasn't killed the way she was killed, I put her higher. But gambling with her and having a drink with her and genuinely sharing my past with her and her man was very, very refreshing. And I loved it. And I wish we got to see her ride her horse more. That would have been cool. Ava. I think Ava is pretty cool. But she's also the case of just average for me. She is basically the Molly 3.0, but she has like no character behind it. With Molly, it was her little sister. With Jane, it was her little sister. And with Ava, it's no one. Unless you connect her with Clementine, she had no characterization. So I'm just putting her at average. The guy who stabbed Javi. I hate him. Oh, and sorry, Kate. I'm putting you right beside Sam's dummy self. Because I hate you both. The guy who ripped off Clementine. I hate him. Trip. I hate Trip too. There was a potential. He was nice. It had the Rebecca treatment where The first episode made you think you were gonna think about this character differently, but they were completely different from what they were in the first episode. With Rebecca, she was mean episode 1, then nice the rest of the episodes. For Trip, he was nice episode 1, really reasonable, and then rude. No matter what decision you picked, he was rude to you. And unless you were talking about Eleanor, he did not want to talk about anything. And it sucked. It was really annoying. Okay, I don't know who this person is, so I guess I'm putting them in hated. Dr. Lingard. I think Dr. Lingard is interesting. I wouldn't say he's a good character. I think he's interesting to the point where you find someone in your life that you're basically living for. You're on the brink of wanting to end yourself and you don't want to continue, and you find out one person you become dependent on. I've been there. I honestly, genuinely been where Lingard's been. Not with the drugs, but just wanting it to all end. And you find out one person in your world, and you think you can go on. You can continue. But then some days you'll find that one day where it feels like you just want to leave again. I vibed with Dr. Lingard. I think he was just played the bad card because you're supposed to not like him because of AJ's situation. And I'm just like, okay, no, that's not the point though. I was just like, I'm not going to hate them just because Clem hates them. That's just my whole principle when it comes to season 3. You're supposed to start off that season with a new family's perspective. You're not supposed to side with Clem, but everyone's going to side with Clem because it's Clem. But I'm just like, I played through what would Javi do for his family in this situation? And I looked at Javi's character and I was like, he's not going to kill Dr. Lingard because he wouldn't kill Dr. Lingard. At that point, yes, you are getting to know Clem. You are teaching her about periods, giving her pads, telling her to confide in Kate about it and all that stuff. And you're getting close to her, but you're not Gabe and Clementine close, so I just don't see the point of killing him. What was this guy's name? It started with a R something. He's fine. I didn't really care about him. I guess he's terrible. Max. Oh, Max. I don't know what to say about Max. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's horrible. I think he's an average Joe for me. I feel like he could have been a really good rival to Javi if we continued the story properly. I feel like he could have been a genuine good, rival for him. One sec. Okay, so next on the list is Badger, who killed Mariana. I hate him. I hate him with a passion. He killed the best girl in season 3. I will never forgive him. I will never forgive him. Oh my goodness. I'm embarrassed. Brenda was actually pretty cool. When you learn about her husband, Terry, I think was his name, you genuinely start to feel a little bad for her. But then again, she killed people so she could eat them, so she's bad. I can't call her an average Joe. She's a cannibal. And I think that was... Oh yeah, Lonnie. Goodness, Lonnie. Lonnie, I'm gonna put you in average because I feel like Lonnie was reasonable. He didn't want to kill us. He wanted just to have a conversation. But until Gabe coughed because he ate too much of the pudding and it went in the wrong tube, he wanted to get physical. So I feel bad for Lonnie. I gotta see if there's anyone else on this list. Okay, I know this girl's from Michonne, so let me just put her in hated. She was very aggressive. I don't know him. He's going in hated. Oh, she was a DLC. She was actually a racist, like her husband, I think. So hated. Oh, the girl who's like, no, go away, no, go away, help me. Oh my gosh, no, she's oh, no, that's an average for me. This is a guy who called me like a spoke, and I'm not happy about that. This is the guy, the Russian guy too. And I think the rest I don't recognize. Oh wait, no, that's the prison guard. He left us high and dry, but I think he's more of an average. Yeah, if you guys actually don't agree with any of my placements, I'm gonna try to keep the placements up. So I might be changing things for the next video. But for now, this is how I feel about every single character. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment.